Frenzy Plant rocks Tentacle deep into the red, and we see the Simul swap Cacturne into Gator. Cacturne, of course, will be taking resisted damage with the Hydro Cannon. Although you wouldn't know it, we are super glassy. Turbo T looking for the one shield. Full Sucker Punch farm down for Alligator. Unable to reach another move. Back out comes Dunsparce. Dunsparce also gets farmed down. Back out comes Superior. Turbo going for the Trailblaze bait, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, enabling us to reach the Dark Pulse, and Cacturne sweeps the backline. GG's, and thanks for playing. Welcome back to the channel. Once again, I can only apologise for the lack of content. Today, the kids have gone back to school, so hopefully some sort of normality will resume on the channel. Although that being said, my car's broken. I'm struggling to get to work. I'm not going to bore you, but just bear with me while I do the best I can. Sometimes in life, you need to go for quality over quantity. So today, we have yet another incredible battle submission from one of our regulars, Turbo T612. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'll know that Turbo T always brings us phenomenal showcases, and today he's bringing us a super fun variation of the common Poison Double Dark team. Poison and Dark types have always formed a formidable core in Go Battle League. The things the Dark types don't want to see, the Poison type handles, and vice versa, making them a very good starting point for a very strong GBL team. This team, of course, is more famous with very bulky, very boring Pokemon. Turbo is giving us the full Shadow Edition with the most oppressive, destructive variation of the team you could possibly run. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, the highly talented, highly skilled Turbo T612 leads Big Squidward, aka Tentacruel, into Ferrothorn. Tentacruel normally pretty good into grass types, although Ferrothorn's sub-steel typing makes it a lost lead. We see the save switch into Shadow Sableye. The opponent stays in, fire off the Power Whip. We see Turbo T invest the first Protect Shield of the battle. He's then going to overfarm, throwing 4 Shadow Claws and the Foul Play, maintaining very disciplined timing. Foul Play gets little respect, rocking Ferrothorn deep into the red health range. Power Whip is survivable from this range. We're going to see Turbo T go all in on Sableye, knowing he's going to be forcing Protect Shields back. The opponent not wanting to give us any free farm, send out Gator. Gator greeted with the first Foul Play, forcing the first protection off the opponent. Sableye already doubled up, and just like that, we find ourselves in a shieldless game. The opponent does a very nice job of over-farming. Before removing Sableye from the field of play, the opponent does leave with residual energy. But unfortunately for the opponent, where's this energy going to go? Tentacruel going to be able to fully wall the usual moveset of Hydro Cannon and Ice Beam respectively. The opponent unable to reach another Hydro Cannon. Squidward gets that farm down. We know Ferrothorn is still alive. Back out comes Ferrothorn. We see the attempted snipe with Cacturne. Out comes Annihilate. The opponent looks for that counter farm down. Cacturne just about survives. Reaches the Trailblaze. Trailblaze removes Annihilate from the field of play. We Sucker Punch farm down Ferrothorn, and we're off to a 1-0 start. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we've got some Shadow on Shadow Crime and Blink, and you might miss this one as it's going to be oppressive, fast move beatdown. Both Pokemon getting torn apart by the fast move pressure. The opponent going to fire off the Dragon Claw. Tentacruel able to withstand the damage. We look to return fire with the Acid Spray. The opponent make a very nice catch, catching onto Dugong. We save Tentacruel on a fraction of HP and send out Sableye. Sableye going to be putting up that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Icy Wind. I absolutely love Sableye. You can see that this Shadow Claw damage with a -1 defense is tearing apart Dugong. We fire off the Foul Play, removing Dugong from the field of play. We very nicely overfarm, meaning if Dragonite should return, it's instantly going to be greeted with the Foul Play. Back out comes Dragonite. Dragonite invests that Protect Shield. Can Sableye reach one further move? Unfortunately, we cannot, but the Shadow Claw damage does get Dragonite very low. We send out Cacturne. The opponent pivots out into Ferrothorn. We're going to farm to the Dark Pulse. Bait with the Trailblaze. The opponent really has no choice but to invest that Protect Shield. Turbo actually going to respect a potential Flash Cannon. Ooh, I did not see that one coming. I was thinking that's probably a Power Whip. Luckily for us, we invested that Protect Shield, leaving with the Dark Pulse, and Dark Pulse is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we're going to lead our shiny Tentacruel, or should I say shiny Shadow Tentacruel. As you can see on the left, I personally don't have one, and I'm super jealous. We lead it into Pidgeot. Well, this is certainly where the team wants to see it. The back line, not going to be a fan of the normal flying typing. Turbo T farms up, fires off the Scald. I was really hoping the opponent called the Acid Spray bait. Speaking of calling baits, Turbo T instantly calls the Feather Dance. Turbo T able to withstand the damage. Tentacruel able to hang on, reach the next Scald, and the opponent's now going to be forced to double shield. They want to keep Pidgeot around. The opponent unwilling to 2-shield. Elect to let it go down. They send out Azumarill. We pivot into Cacturne. Out comes Metachan. This game already looks signed, sealed, and delivered. Trailblaze forces the opponent's final Protect Shield Sableye with a 2-0 shield advantage, very much in the driver's seat, the opponent essentially playing out the inevitable. Despite Turbo having 2 shields to hide behind, no shield on this Ice Punch is the correct play. He's then just going to fire off the foul play on the charge attack priority, maintaining 2 shields intact. The opponent's win con at this point is going to be to bubble farm us down. You can see Sableye running out of HP. Can we reach the 2 power gems required to win this battle? The first one rocks Azumarill down. To round a third elf, the opponent commits to their win con, looking for the bubble farm down, but Sableye says no, reaches the next power gem, and we emerge victorious. GG's. Turbo T 612 able to pull off a very nice 2 shield flex. In the next battle, we see Diggersby. This is definitely somewhat of a core breaker for us. Fire Punch will be hitting for super effective onto Cacturne, but you know what won't be super effective? A Scorching Sands. What a savage play. Going back to my original point on why this thing's a core breaker, Fire Punch going to be super effective on Cacturne, and both Shadow Claw and Poison Jab going to be resisted, meaning Diggersby with its never-ending HP stat is going to be a team effort to remove. While we're on the subject of Diggersby, I'm sure a lot of you saw the news release from Niantic yesterday, or perhaps you saw Jonkus' upload. Diggersby is going to be one of the latest Pokemon to enter the Shadow Realm from the 15th to the 19th of this month, and I personally cannot wait. As always, we've got distracted. The opponent sent out Corsola. We fired off the Skull, then went for the 1 shield and farm down, leaving with residual energy, which is a pretty good way of removing Diggersby from the field of play. Our quick moves are essentially doing nothing, so we're going to have to land multiple charge moves. The opponent tanked the first foul play. They actually completely sacked Diggersby, putting all the hopes and dreams on a 2 shield Gator. Gator going to have to burn the first Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming foul play. The opponent obliges, putting up that Protect Shield, and we see the pivot back out into Squidward. Any one move would be survivable. We're going to see Turbo T invest that Protect Shield, looking to apply the debuff. The opponent kind of forced to shield this. If they don't shield this, they're just going to get fast move beat down. The opponent obliges, shielding up the Acid Spray. They're going to fire off the Hydro Cannon. The Hydro Cannon isn't quite lethal. The opponent able to Shadow Claw, farm down Tentacruel, but Sableye Shadow Claw farms down Gator, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, Tentacruel into Charger Bug. It's going to be a no thank you and a say switch into Sableye. The opponent going to opt to stay in. We're going to see Turbo T instantly put up that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming X-Scissor. The opponent then sends out Diggersby. Diggersby, we've already mentioned a core breaker, but this time we have a huge energy lead. Turbo T farms up to the double foul play. The first one goes unshielded. We do throw the next one, hoping to CMP time on the Scorching Sands, but this opponent far smart on that. Unwilling to play to the CMP tie, they do not win. They're then going to overfarm before firing off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands rock Sableye into the red health range, and we're able to reach 1 further foul play. Sableye putting in so much work. The opponent invests the Protect Shield, looking to keep that super positive alignment. Turbo T getting a phone call, but he's like, whoever you are, wait, I'm busy battling. We send out Tentacruel. Tentacruel going to be used as the damage sponge. We tank the Scorching Sand, see the pivot into Cacturne. Cacturne looks for the Sucker Punch farm down, but Diggersby really does have that never-ending stat product. The opponent able to reach the Fire Punch, forcing our final protection. They send out Annihilate, and unfortunately that is going to cost us a 5-0. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, commanding lead, the stupid Marshmallow not going to fancy Tentacruel's work. The opponent say switches into Drifblim, and once again, we've got the perfect answer so far. This battle very much looks like RPS in our favour. Wigglytuff, a very hard answer for Cacturne. But hopefully we're able to reach double Trailblaze, either completely removing Wigglytuff from the field of play or forcing our Protect Shield back. Unfortunately, we're unable to reach the next move, but we certainly put Wigglytuff in a range where Tentacruel will be able to fully Poison Jab farm him down. Back out comes Tentacruel. The opponent saves Wigglytuff. Send out Gastrodon. We fire off the Acid Spray. Acid Spray does absolutely nothing in terms of doing damage, but what it does do is force a debuff on this stupid Snail's defense. Without a doubt, this season, for me personally, the most hated core in the Great League is Charm plus Mud Slap. Usually Wigglytuff plus Gastrodon. But it looks like Turbo T very much in the driver's seat. The opponent doesn't want the smoke. They concede the match. And despite them running a team I personally hate, we're going to say GG's regardless. Heading into the next battle. We saw a great lead, although when Turbo sent me this battle submission, he said the channel mascot Drapion is the enemy, as it again core breaks our team. We've seen Turbo T able to overcome core breakers such as Diggersby. The whole team's going to have to pull together to remove this super spammy Scorpion from the field of play. Step 1, force a Protect Shield with an Acid Spray bait. The second time he doesn't even farm up to the Scold. just looking to apply yet another debuff and do any damage to this Drapion he physically can. The opponent heavily overfarms, fire off the Aqua Tail, removing Tentacruel from the field of play. Out comes Sableye Drapion, always with energy good to go, able to fire off the crunch, and we need to hope that Cacturne is good against the remainder of the team. We are spamming the switch. Come on, Cacturne. Put in work. Oh, crap. This game looks over. Potential win con if the opponent shielded this Trailblaze. Perhaps. I don't even think that saves us. The opponent rightfully saved their final Protect Shield for a Zoom roll. Unlike the previous battle, where we had 2 shields and we were able to win, I think we're just going to die to quick moves. We fire off the Power Gem. The opponent doesn't even shield. Turbo recognises he's going to get fast move beat down and concedes the match. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see Tentacruel into Guzzlord. For those of you that like the Ultra League, which will be around in a few hours, you normally don't see one without the other. Tentacruel and Guzzlord make a formidable core in the Ultra League. Essentially the same as our Dark and Poisons work today. They just form a great core in any format. Tentacruel fires off the Scold. Scold is resisted, but still rocks Guzzlord down into the red health range. Turbo T just going to sack his Poison type and hope the Dark types can clean up. We send out Sableye. Sableye able to get a very nice running start. Looks like the opponent doesn't really have a great Sableye answer and take a long time to send something out. Out comes Gator. Turbo T farms up, throws the foul play on the charge attack priority. And this gives us a very good suggestion that Turbo T is running a very attack weighted Sableye. I personally run a rank 1 Sableye that has quite a low attack. Well, actually the lowest attack you physically can have for a Sableye, and I never ever win CMP in a lot of common matchups. So an argument can be made that you want an attack weighted Sableye for matchups like this. If you're on an attack weighted Sableye, you're able to win CMP against a lot of top meta threats. Stuff like Gator, stuff like Talonflame, Frostlass, Venusaur and Swampert all fall into a range where they've got very similar attack stats. We saw Turbo T make a very heads-up play, banking a foul play and sniping Gator's remaining HP with a Sucker Punch that then enabled him to fire off the Trailblaze on the CMP tie to the Clod-sized Sludge Bomb that had lurking in the back. Sableye fires off the foul play. Foul play isn't quite lethal. We're able to Shadow Claw farm down and take that game. Very, very well played. That opponent also running a Dark Poison core, but instead of Tentacruel and our Dark types, they had Guzzlord and the PvPoke's #1 ranked pick, Clodsire. In the next battle, we saw Tentacruel into Jumpluff, the opponent say switches into Dunsparce, and we respond with Cacturne. It looks like Turbo T wants to maintain that very positive alignment. I guess we just double shield and commit to the full Sucker Punch farm down. A lot of Cacturne run Dynamic Punch as second move, so if Jumpluff does return, they might not be expecting the boosted Dark Pulse. Come on, trainer. Don't shield. Hello? Okay, it looks like the opponent's already enough and they're going to concede the match. Heading into the next battle. Tentacruel into Dunsparce. Dunsparce again, a bit of a tricky Pokemon for this team composition. Dunsparce, of course, has access to Drill Run, which will be hitting us for super effective. And we can't really say switch into Sableye, as they are going to double resist our quick move of Shadow Claw, as normal does double resist Ghost. We shield the Drill Run, we're able to fire off the Scold, which goes unshielded and gets the attack drop. We then see the pivot into our Dark type, looking to bait out the opponent's best Dark type counter. Things are looking promising for Cacturne, as the opponent doesn't really have a hard Dark type counter. They enter a neutral matchup, sending out Superior. Superior also going to be a new addition to the Shadow roster, another pick I can't wait to use. We force a protection, the opponent fire off the Aerial Ace, picks up the knockout, back out comes Tentacruel. We farm up, fire off the Acid Spray on what looks like to be a charge attack priority. Acid Spray doesn't do too much damage, but does debuff their defense. The opponent fires off the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant rocks us deep into the red health range. We see the Simul Swap. Cacturne into Gator. Can we go for the one shield? Full Sucker Punch farm down before the opponent's able to reach the next Hydro Cannon. It's going to be close. Cacturne able to Sucker Punch farm down. Back out comes Dunsparce. Dunsparce unable to reach a move. Back out comes Superior. We fire off the Trailblaze bait. Trailblaze forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. We reach the Dark Pulse, and that is going to be all she wrote, with Cacturne sweeping the team. GG's, and thanks for playing. And that is going to draw to a close set number 2 in today's 3-set showcase, with Turbo T going 4-1 once again. In the next battle, our nemesis returns. This time we see the instant pivot into Sableye, and out comes Drapion. Oh boy. The two Pokemon this team doesn't want to see, one after the other. We're able to force ourselves an early shield advantage. My rank 1 Sableye very comfortably tank a crunch from here. It looks like Turbo T's attack weighted Sableye still able to withstand the damage and even force Drapion to dump yet further energy. This will be some victory if Turbo T is able to overcome not one but two core breakers. We send Tentacruel back into the field of play. The opponent fire off the crunch, and ouch, that hurt. Hold up, I see you, Turbo. It looks like Turbo T gonna try and resist it. Poison Jab farm down Drapion, leaving with all the energy in the world. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down, pivot out into Corsola. Does this give us a wink on? Cacturne once again gonna be looking for the one shield. Full Sucker Punch farm down. Let's go, Cacturne. Let's go, Cacturne. Able to farm down one of the bulkiest mon in the format and leave with absolutely a bucket of energy. Back out comes Drapion. Turbo T refuses to dump energy. Farms down Drapion, leaving with the double Trailblaze. The first one goes unshielded, but Trainer, you'll be burning the final protection on the next one. We then go for the wham, bam, combo play. Send out Tentacruel with the Skull Bank. And just like that, we beat not one, but two core breakers. Very nicely done. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we see Sonic the Hedgehog, the Shadow variant, running Powder Snow. An argument could have been made that Turbo should have opted to stay in there, but we see the save switch into Sableye. Sableye shields up the Ice Punch, and out comes Talonflame. We're full sending the Power Gem. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Get that Talonflame off my screen. The opponent fucked about. They found out. Sableye running absolutely rampant. The opponent ends up playing to the CMP type. They do not win. Oh boy, I need to bust my Sableye out again. This thing is such a menace. Turbo T then sends out Cacturne. Cacturne able to Sucker Punch farm down before the opponent able to reach another move. Out comes Toxapex. Toxapex going to be greeted with the Trailblaze. Trailblaze forces the opponent's final Protect Shield, and it's all down to Tentacruel to clean up. We're going to see the battle of the poison types. Tentacruel with a shield to hide behind should be in the driver's seat. The opponent fire off the Brine Bait. Tentacruel going to fire off the Acid Spray first. Acid Spray won't do much, but will mean the poison jabs are going to do even more damage. You can see Toxapex, a very bulky boy, but these poison jabs now starting to add up thick and fast. The opponent fire off the Sludge Wave. Tentacruel easily withstands the damage, reaches the Scald. Is this Scald enough to knock out? Yes, it is, and that was such a fun game. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we see Tentacruel into Morpeko. Ironically, this is probably where the team wants to see it, despite them being an electric type and us being a water type. Morpeko, a very attack-weighted mon. They do not tank fast move pressure well whatsoever. We correctly shield the Aura Wheel. We're then going to return fire with the Acid Spray. Even if the opponent shields, you can't shield quick moves, and these poison jabs are now doing absurd damage. We see the instant shield deployed. Turbo T just looking to remove this scary mouse from the field of play. The opponent not wanting to give us any free farm. Send out Talonflame. What the heck is in the back that you're going to send Talonflame into Tentacruel? We farm to the Skull Bait with the Acid Spray. We then try and sack Sableye. The opponent farms up to 100 energy. Sableye about to get one shot vanquished. Back to its Pokeball. Brave Bird, massive overkill. Back out comes Tentacruel. Fly will be moving Tentacruel from the field of play, and it's Cacturne versus the world. Cacturne gets the Sucker Punch farm down before the Incinerate does register. Out comes Primate. Primate with a monstrous attack stat, but unfortunately not monstrous enough. We're able to win the charge attack priority. Fire off the Trailblaze, removing them from the field of play. We Sucker Punch farm down Morpeko and take that game. Out of the most commonly seen Pokemon in the Great League, Morpeko has a 141 attack, winning more or less all charge attack priorities. Primate closely follows with a 140. But Cacturne with a monstrous 148. In the next battle again, we see our nemesis, the channel mascot Drapion. We tank the crunch, farm to the Skull Bait with the Acid Spray, which the opponent calls, and I think we're in trouble. The opponent going to fire off the crunch, removing Tentacruel from the field of play. Even with -1 defense, neither of our Pokemon will be able to farm Drapion down before they reach a charge move. We send out Sableye. Again, we're unwilling to shield. Crunch just does so much damage, and out comes Gator. We're going to fire off the Foul Play. Foul Play will be forcing that Protect Shield, and we send out Cacturne. Cacturne going to be looking for the one shield, a full Sucker Punch farm down, but as the opponent had a small energy lead, I don't think that's possible. Let's see if Turbo opts to throw on the charge attack priority. Turbo does exactly that, not wanting to burn the final Protect Shield if he can help it. We fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze picks up the knockout. Can our boosted Cacturne once again pull off the sweep? Out comes Superior, and this is going to be tricky. We fire off the Trailblaze, just looking to vamp up already oppressive Sucker Punch damage. The opponent going to fire off the Aerial Ace. I don't think 5 Sucker Punches KO. We're going to need a catch to win this game. Turbo T farms up, tries to make the catch unsuccessfully. The opponent banks a charge move, send out Drapion. Drapion also leaves with a charge move, and we're going to take a heartbreaking loss. GG's to that opponent. Unfortunately, heading into the final battle of today's shoutcast. That's 3 sets in around 20 minutes, which shows you just how destructive this team is. Tentacruel into Morpeko. Again, it looks like we're just going to look to 2-shield through this thing. Shield up the Aura Wheel, fire off the Acid Spray immediately, forcing a debuff on Morpeko's already non-existent defense. The opponent knows an Acid Spray, but opt to shield knowing they'd just die to quick moves if they didn't. Again, we see the instant shield deployed. Is his opponent also going to give up switch, not wanting to get farmed down? Yes, they are. They send out Corsola, and Corsola is greeted by Sableye. Sableye going to fire off the foul play. Foul play forces the opponent's final protect shield. The opponent is going to be able to take us out with the Nightshade. They've just left them in a perfect farm down range for Cacturne to come in and get a very nice running start. Turbo T sends Cacturne onto the field of play. The opponent desperately tried to reach a charge move, but Cacturne says no, getting a massive farm down. The opponent sends out Jumpluff. Jumpluff going to be greeted with the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse lands for some huge damage. Holy. We saw every last bit of that 148 attack stat. That damage was something I wasn't ready for. We send out Tentacruel. Tentacruel gets the poison jab farm down. The opponent recognises the game's over and they concede the match. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's a very fun shoutcast. As always, a huge thank you to Turbo T, a 612 for the battle submission. We've featured him many times previously, and every single time his shoutcasts are phenomenal. He always brings us very fun, very creative teams. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. The link to our battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thanks to everyone for watching. And I'll see you all in the next one.